All right, hey guys. So, this video, uh, I don't know why, but something just came to me. Uh, First time homeowner, okay? And like I said, I don't know why, but somebody probably needs to hear this. Um, but so I just bought my first home, a couple months ago, and it was scary. It was stressful. It was scary. There was a whole lot of stuff I had to do. But I bought my first home. And then, we get into the house and there's stuff that has to be fixed and or replaced. And, I've done that. I'm doing that. I had to have some help because on some of the stuff, I just didn't know what to do. So, my stepdad came over, he helped me. So I just want to let people out there know who are, buying their first house that, yes, it is stressful. It's a very stressful process, but it's your house. And that is very rewarding. Anything that I want to do to my house, change it, paint it, whatever, I can do that. And I remember, weighing the options. Like, okay, well, if you're renting and the water heater goes out, then the owner of the house has to replace that. If I own a house and my water heater goes out, I have to replace that. It comes out of my pocket. Those are true. There's also, when you first buy your house, there's like a 1-year home warranty. I highly recommend getting that because in that first year, you're going to have a whole lot of things that you'll need to replace or fix or whatever. And the home warranty takes care of that. I mean, you'll have to probably pay a little bit, but it's worth it. Like, my parents, it was almost at the end of their warranty and their air conditioner went out. Well, now the home warranty pays for that. So keep that in mind. All the warranties and stuff, you want that. It's a little bit more money, but in the long run, it's worth it because, I mean, replacing an air conditioning unit is not cheap. So they use their home warranty for that. I've got my home warranty. So if anything major happens in the house, I'll have that. But yeah, I guess the main thing is, like, if it's your first time buying a house and you are worried, you're stressed out about it, like, don't worry about it. Like, the whole process is stressful, okay? I'm not going to lie about that. But it's going to be your house. It's going to be your house to do whatever you want with it. And I was, blessed to have the realtor that I have now. I got kind of discouraged when we first started looking for houses because it seems like every single house that she went into, because I'm not there. I was out of state. We were looking at a house, in halfway across the country. And it seemed like every house that she went into, like, something was wrong with it, something major. Like, the roof is bad, the floor is bad, but in the long run, again, that paid off. Like, I found out that this lady knows what she's doing. She knows what to look for. Before she even enters a house, she looks at the roof to make sure that the roof is good, because replacing a roof is a major ordeal. She looks at the foundation to make sure that the foundation is good. And I mean, she was on top of her game. So all these houses that she was looking at that I liked, that she was like, no, this is not worth it. Like, there's too many issues with this house. She went to this house, and you know, the roof has recently been replaced, so we don't have to worry about that. She said the windows, and this is gonna play in later in the story, but she said the windows, these windows are really good windows. They're insulated, they're double paned, and we could actually, like, you don't have to go outside of the house to clean the outside of the window. You can actually, like, it pulls out and you can clean the outside of the window inside the house. And they're super thick. So like she said, the windows are good. Like, everything in the house is good. There were some, you know, minor repairs that had to be made before we bought it, and they were made before we bought it. And like, this house, I love this house. So going on to those windows, the last house we lived in that we were renting, there was no insulation. It was cinder block and thin windows. There was no insulation. When the heater came on, you felt it. When the heater, as soon as the heater shut off, you felt it. It got cold, like, instantly. This house, like, first of all, the vents are in the floor. So heat rises, and right now, when our heater comes on, you can barely hear it because, you know, the furnace is downstairs, but you can barely hear it. But the only reason that I know that our heater is running is because we have, like, a dream catcher up against the wall, and it's right above one of the vents. So when the heater comes on, that dream catcher starts moving. You can feel the heat, but it's not, like, overwhelming. It's not like, oh, the heater's on. And then when the heater turns off, like, there's no change in temperature. And it's those windows, it's the insulation. Like, our house is so, it's very well insulated. So, you know, check for those things. You want to look at the windows. You want to, you know, check the, the construction of the house, when it was built, how it was built. Insulation, it makes a big difference. It really does. And we actually had our landlord at our last place put in a wood-burning stove because we had snowstorms and power would go out. And when the power goes out, there's no heat. And we had a gas fireplace, which basically it's just there for aesthetics. It looks nice. If you've ever used a gas fireplace, they typically don't heat very well. So after that first year, my wife was at home. I was on the road, but my wife was at home for like 2 or 3 days with no power. She was using the oven because our oven was gas powered. She was using the oven for heat. And she told our landlord, she's like, no, we got to get a wood burning stove in this house because I don't want to go through this again next year. And he did. He came, he put, you know, he installed all the stone and the tile, and, you know, and so we had a wood burning stove, and that thing worked good. So also, wood burning stoves, awesome. They will heat your whole house. And I don't care if you get a little one or a big one, they do the job. So yeah, anyway, you know, I was very stressed out. And there's still times that I get stressed out over stuff that needs to be done, and we're still catching up on bills because, like I said, we had to move across the country, and the move itself, like, depleted funds. So it's going to be expensive if you want to move, you know, far. Just because gas, renting a truck. We didn't have to rent a truck, thankfully, but we still had to pay for gas and fuel, and it was a lot of money. But like this house, we got a big old yard that's fenced, and then we have an acre behind it. So we have a lot of land. It's not a big house, but it's a good size house. It's bigger than what we had. And it's kind of old. Built in the 80s. So it's not super old, but it's kind of old. So yeah, there's things that need to be replaced in it, and I've done some of that. I've replaced the kitchen faucet, our shower faucet. One major thing that I replaced, the one that I needed help with, was the water pressure regulator valve. And I thought it would be kind of simple, and for the most part it was, but I could not get that thing hooked up and sealed properly. So I called my stepdad, because I was freaking out, because I mean, once that thing is disconnected, like, you have no water to your house. There was no water, and I had to have water. I mean, you got to cook, you got to bathe, you got to wash your hands. Like, I had no water. And he came over, and it was a couple hours. We kind of looked over it, and we figured out it was a simple thing. Okay, so I was taking the old valve out and trying to put the new valve in using the parts that were there. And it turned out, because the bottom part, just I couldn't get it tight. Like, it would tighten up, but it would wobble. The valve itself would wobble, which means if I turn on the water, it's going to spray everywhere. So we looked it over, and it's like, I don't understand why this isn't working. But my stepdad ended up taking off the bottom nut. We had to take apart the pipe and take that nut off and put the new nut on, the one that came with the unit, and tightened everything back up, and it works fine. So now we have good water pressure, because we had very weak water pressure before that, but good water pressure now. The hot water actually comes faster because water pressure is moving through the pipes faster, and the valve doesn't leak anymore. Before, it was all corroded. There was always like a little water puddle, so it needed to be replaced. And I even said, I was telling my wife, and I mean my stepdad, I was like, I shouldn't have even messed with it. Like, we had water before, and now we don't. But it's part of being a homeowner. So these are the problems that I've had buying a home. But the good thing about having my own house, my own home, is the yard is mine. I can dig a hole wherever I want. If I need to burn a pile of leaves, I can do that. If I want to paint a room, I can do that. I don't have to ask anybody's permission. If I want to redo the floors, I can do that. If I want to, anything, it's my house. It's literally my house. Like, before, I used to live in a house and call it mine, but it wasn't my house. I still had to, go through certain things and ask certain people if I wanted to change something. This is my house. I don't have to ask anybody to do anything. Payments are way cheaper than rent, which is one thing I never understood. Like, all these mortgage places, they want you do your credit check. It's like, I'm already paying $1,200 for a house. $1,200 for a house that I don't own per month. And if I were to get this house, it would only be $900 per month. But you're saying I can't afford the $900 a month. So I have to stick with the $1,200 a month. Like, that never made sense to me. And so I'm literally paying right now half of what I was paying for rent. And it's my house. I can do whatever I want. And that's including the warranty and the insurance and, you know, everything. Like, I'm literally paying half of what I was paying like 3 months ago. So, yeah, there is a lot that you need to get in line before you can get, you know, approved for a mortgage or whatever. Got to have good credit. Luckily, I had, you know, the VA home loan, which helped out a lot. So if you're a veteran, look into a VA home loan, because that's the only way to go. Their standards are higher, so it might be harder to get certain homes, but they are looking out for you as far as this, because I've had bad experiences with the VA in general. But VA home loan, yeah, that's the way to go. Yeah, it's expensive, it's stressful, but it's totally worth it. It's all worth it. So if you are the reason that I'm making this video, thank you for watching. But it is totally worth it to own your own house. With all the stress and everything that comes with owning a home, I would do it again. You know, I'm not gonna lie, it's stressful. It's probably the most stressful thing that I've ever done, but it's worth it. I guarantee you it's worth it. So, all right, thank you.